Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Drone Out. Tonight you're joined by Andy/Frank.
Hello.
Andy RC. Hello and welcome.
Good evening.
I can hear myself in the background.
It's always Tony every time. Every time.
LittleStellarFox. Is that like some sort of mating call?
I don't think that.
Maybe it is. You never know.
Sorry, that did make me laugh. We've got Miss Creatures, all the way from Dirty Traitor of Kanakistan in the USA.
I'm working to be both sides, okay?
Okay, if you say so. We've got is Mako Reactra?
Ryan.
Reactra.
Right.
Yes.
Ryan.
Ryan.
Right.
Ryan.
Hey there.
Hello. And we've got NJ Tech.
Evening, everyone.
Notice how I didn't say anything about anyone getting pregnant? Oh.
You just did.
Holy shit.
If you're the newly engaged Mrs. NJ, I'm really sorry. That's just a joke.
I'm so glad she doesn't watch this. I'd get beaten and you'd get beaten. She beat you first.
My little toaster.
Bonjour.
Available on Bumble, have you know. And everyone's lovable curry kitten.
Nice.
Hello.
And I'm bright until I fly.
I think we have to kick off today's episode with a firework because Zero has just donated €10.
Really?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
I
It's
didn't
happened.
see that.
Zero.
That's 2 sparklers.
Is it 2? Hold on. One's going. There's 1. Thanks, Zero.
The girls know the rules that we have a super chat, and every time someone donates, someone nearly has to set their house on fire.
Well, I don't want to set my house on fire.
Thanks, Zero.
I'm not at my house, and I'm not going to set my car on fire. So
No. It's just
that was so much fun.
it's just Tony and Jack that do it. Don't worry.
Don't worry. You don't have to set fire to anything.
I do have my phone on standby though for 911 or what?
There we go.
What is it in America? Oh, there you go.
911.
I got it.
Well,
No
Tony
worries.
has his dog bowl ready to go. Dish it in there.
I have.
I've got a question. You know Mako Reactra? Are you a massive Final Fantasy VII fan?
Yes, Reactra.
Oh.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah, because I thought it was Reactor, and it's like, oh, Reactra. Maybe she's not a Final Fantasy VII fan.
Well, I
Yeah,
can't
I
read
think people
properly.
pick up on that.
Yeah.
Not too many.
Aries or Tifa?
Aries. All the way.
Yeah.
I cried when she died, so.
Oh.
Oh,
No,
no.
spoilers.
Spoilers.
Oh, shoot. I know everyone's going to go home and play tonight.
I
Yeah.
hope so. They're remaking it apparently, but I haven't seen anything.
It's
Yeah,
been
believe
done.
it when I see
thought
it.
came out on the PS4.
Don't you got a light one and stick it in your teeth apparently?
What?
The lit
Yep.
end.
Who just donated?
We've got Zoe in the chat, by the way.
Hello, Zoe.
Oh,
Zoe!
MC Creations has just donated.
Yep. Come on,
Thanks,
Tone.
Vivian,
That's 2 in your mouth.
I'm not putting anything in my mouth.
All right,
Put
up
something
the
in your
nose then.
mouth.
No.
It's easy, just like that in your teeth.
Just lots of spit. It'll go out. I
Oh my
promise.
god.
There you go. I did it. It was scary, but it's done.
Yes, thank
I'm
you.
not
Ed.
doing that again.
No,
don't
don't.
donate just to see that. I'm not doing it.
No, please do donate because I saw those going up live last week. Was that a party popper?
What just happened?
I think it was a party popper.
Thank you, MC Creations, as well, for a $5 donation. Very kind.
Light another one, Tone.
Oh my god! This is going to be just a fire party. I've just been,
Smells like
I've been putting them up here, but I've been putting them on my passport. Not good.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to know the worst sparkler story ever?
Yes,
Good.
please.
Yes.
It was pretty bad. I was doing a photo shoot a couple years ago, and we were using sparklers, and it was super fun. I was barefoot, you know, fun fact.
Ooh.
And I stepped on a piece like this big, and it burned almost all the way through my foot. It was terrible. Like, it was the worst burn ever. And then I finished the photo shoot. I shot for another hour and 45 minutes, finished like a boss. And then I died for a little while and got on my motorcycle and rode to DC in the water. And my foot swelled up really bad, and I almost like had to like amputate my foot because of the giant gap from the skin being burned away like 2 inches deep into my foot. It was terrible. So,
That sounds horrific.
So, the moral of that story is always wear shoes when you're running around and dancing with sparklers, because stepping on them is fucking terrible.
That's good advice. I think that probably is applicable to everyone here at least.
Always wear
Dances
shoes.
around with sparklers.
Totally not worth
firework
it.
code, is it?
I know that's my Friday night.
You're meant to wear gloves whilst doing them as well.
Yeah.
Gloves are overrated, but shoes for sure.
To be fair,
That's my
last week we were in a wooden room with about 7 of them going. So we are not the poster people for how to use fireworks safely.
As long as you don't step on it, I think you're fine.
Yeah, you're good.
By far the worst pain I've ever had, to be totally honest. Like, it was terrible.
Wow.
Like,
Childbirth?
worse than childbirth, okay? Because as soon as childbirth is over, you don't even think about it. However, that was something that my foot was destroyed for like months. It was so bad. Plus, shifting gears on a bike with the foot that was like dying, terrible. And DC is like 8 hours away. So, yeah, it was shitty.
You just drove quite far, didn't you?
I did. I actually just went down to Sarasota to go down to get FPV and see everybody. And then I went to Atlanta for a little bit and lost my Nova and my GoPro. And now I'm home.
No. Sorry for your loss.
Yeah. Have you lost your footage then from the weekend or whatever?
No, actually, I only lost footage from that day, and I had already downloaded all of my weekend footage from being down in Florida, but we had just gotten my Nova flying again, you know, because it's fucking cursed, and every time I fly it, I have to work on it. And I got 2 packs in. It was great, and then video just went black, and now it's lost out in... Are you aware of the barn? Do you know where that is? Like, where all the Atlanta guys go? It's one of Skitto's spots.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
So, now my Nova is lost out in, you know, a giant wet field full of briars and anthills and grass taller than me.
Oh, that's
we looked for it for like hours and hours and hours, and yeah, it's not been found yet.
Oh, that's
depressing.
So you worked and then drove 850 miles, am I right?
Yeah, well, I went to work at 5 in the morning, and then when I got off last Friday, and then I got off of work and I went and sat at the DMV for a couple of hours, and then I drove 11 hours to Sarasota.
Wow.
And and then I hung out in Sarasota for a couple of days, and then when I went to go leave, I was gonna drop off some stuff to John from Get FPV, and we were like, let's go burn a couple packs. And yeah, we went and burned a couple packs, and I lost the Nova, and then I stayed the night in Atlanta, and we looked again all day yesterday, and then I drove home yesterday. And got home at like 11 o'clock last night to get up to work at 5 a.m. this morning.
You are hardcore. That's proper FPV hardcore.
That's proper drug taking. That is to stay away.
That was 1,836 miles in 5 days, you guys.
Do you know what I find amazing is that Jamie's feed is better than any of ours, and she's driving.
Thanks, AT&T.
That just shows you how good the LTE is out there. Because I do the same with my friend in Florida, and I can't believe it. Because you could not in the UK, no chance. You could, I mean, we're struggling. We're all connected to the land here, landline, and we're struggling to get good quality. So.
That's AT&T for you. Side note, I did work for AT&T for like a year and a half, so.
So you got like a staff discount, right?
Not anymore, because I don't work for them anymore.
Now, I hate to be the boring, predictable one about losing a quad, but was there
I
a
knew
lost
you were
quad
going
or beat
to
record?
pipe up. I knew you were. I was going to say meat curry kitten.
You have to do it. It's because I get so stressed out when people tell me they've lost the quad, and I get worried about losing the quad. So some sort of
Man.
back beeper, so it goes beep, and you can always find it. That's all I'm saying.
You know,
Yep.
I'm not even so concerned about the quad, even though I just rebuilt it with, you know, a brand new stack. It had a brand new camera, you know, brand new everything. I wasn't so concerned about that so much as the Session 5 that's gone forever.
Yeah, I always say that, like,
if anybody really wants a Session 5,
Session.
what were you saying?
It's like
about
an accordion?
AT&T?
yeah, but stuff is just stuff. It's all replaceable.
Yeah, I've always said if you end up crashing or you end up losing your quad, you can take the quad. Please just leave me the footage. That's the bit that matters more than anything.
See, I look at it. I really do look at it like maybe that was like my beginning, because it happened on the first, of course, my first flight of the year. That is my sacrifice to the quad gods. So maybe the rest of the year is just going to be like super banging.
Yep.
That's what I'm hoping.
I think there's something in that. It's like the when you put the laundry in the washing machine and one sock just never comes out and it's just disappeared. You sacrifice the socks to the washing machine god. So I think it's the same.
Exactly, you know.
Frank told me about something called Sock Day, where you.
Sock Day.
Yeah, I never heard of it till Frank. Frank teaches me loads of stuff, but apparently, like.
It's not the sock that you've got, though, is it?
No, not the happy. Where is
the one with eyes on it?
Yeah,
it's not the. No, we don't want that
my
sock.
Kyrstie replacement. I'm sorry.
More protein in it.
And now he's going to show you my kitty socks.
Quick, don't show him your kitty socks, because he honestly can't.
I know.
I'm not into
socks.
feet.
We've been
It's
through this
fine.
before.
We have.
Sorry,
How's Lugnut?
He's good. He's sleeping with a panda right now with Tyler. They're they're chilling.
but you still cut his balls off, so we're not talking to you.
Well
Evil.
done.
We didn't want to do it, but we did because we just didn't want to have any like health complications or I don't know.
It's worth it.
Just we don't need any of that. Yeah. And he's actually really aggressive when he had his balls because he's part coyote and he's a little bit wild. So even now he snips at us and stuff. So I think snipping is a good thing, but I feel bad.
Clearly, you're not hotboxing him enough.
We did the day he got his balls snipped.
Aww.
Maybe that's what we need to do with Jack to calm him down.
That's a great idea.
They're useless anyway.
Don't work anymore, do they?
Not the drugs that I'm on. And anyway, Tony stopped paying out.
No comment.
What?
You're my wife.
Kyrstie, you've got some. Since we last spoke to you, you've had some motors come out, haven't you?
Yeah. So that design that I did probably like 2 years ago now, Ego Drift wanted to remake it, and I'm actually still super stoked on it. But yeah, they're called the Atom Bomb Babies. As you can see, I don't know where any of my stragglers are, but this one's on my ether right now. And they're sick. I absolutely love them. They're so strong. I've definitely crashed a bunch of times, and they're holding up great. They're 2306. They come in a 1700, oh my god, huge brain fart, 2400 and 2700. So I think the Lexi motors. Yeah, I think the Lexi motors, we got a set for her in purple, of course. I think she wanted to really be hustling those motors because they're pretty hot. But I think the whole Germany team right now has them, so that's kind of cool.
Did you accidentally say 1700 kV because you've got 6S on the brain? Are you thinking about a 6S build? Are any of you
yeah, how did you
6S
know?
yet?
No, 5S.
I actually have a couple 6S, but I haven't flown them yet. I'm working on building them still.
Sick.
I actually just picked up a big care kit from Get FPV, all 6S stuff to build 2 QAVRs,
Man.
all 6S.
Nice.
So sick.
Good to see a QAVR still out in the wild. That's quite an old frame
Well,
now.
the QAVR2s. The
Oh,
new
the
ones.
new one, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not in
Here's-
the past.
I have my rabbit here. This is a diatone success race
Nice.
quad with some Brother Hobby long range 2207 1720 kV motors.
Perfect. Yeah, that should
And
be
then-
interesting.
This one I'm building now. It's a Flight Club Bangkok freestyle quad. So this is going to be a success too. I have Johnny FPV motors on here.
Awesome.
Lumiere.
Oh, Rabbit,
So-
Bangkok.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of dirty.
I think
I thought the same. I went in the gutter too.
I think they changed the name from Rabbit now to GTR because I said like why are you calling it Rabbit? So I think it's GTR now.
So
Year of
what's
the
your?
rabbit.
Let me just quickly ask, just before we change the subject on success. What's your draw to success? Are you mainly freestyle? Is it for freestyle or more for racing? What's the pull to head to that voltage for you?
I have flown 4S and 5S. I've only flown 5S a couple of times, so I just want to experience it. I want to fly everything and anything I can get my hands on. So this one's going to be for racing, and this one's going to be for freestyle because I love doing just both things.
See,
Awesome.
among all quad pilots, that's basically the universal answer for everything. I want all the things.
Everything.
I just want to go
I'm
fast.
exactly the same.
I just want to go fast. I'm stuck in
Ripping
traffic.
over
So
you.
it's like,
I haven't tried success because I can't afford the batteries. They're
Yeah.
too expensive.
I think that's a
not-
myth
there's-
now. That's a
There's
myth.
no excuse for
Is that
that now. There's about £3 difference between a 4S and a 6S battery because it's become so popular. Just as everything else, the price has come down. So a 6S battery used to cost you £45. Now about £25.
Yeah, I've seen them for about 25 from decent. I think
No
the
hype is
AC
way
one's
cheaper.
pretty cheap.
Well,
I only have one success battery, so 2 quads, 1 battery. We'll get there.
That's like our
Yeah.
life.
Aw.
My boyfriend and I are sharing a GoPro Hero 4 that's like gonna die, and we also share goggles too. So
There you go.
we're hurting. We can't even
Been
fly
there.
together.
Oh no! So you can't even fly together and chase each other around.
But
Right.
Tyler just got like 3 of those $13 fat sharks, so we have 3 now.
$13. Oh, the what are they called? Yeah, I know the ones. The box
Yeah,
goggle
those
fat
things.
shark thing.
No, they're actually really slim.
I need to
There's
try
some
those.
different-
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
are those the ones they did with that little brushed quad that time? That
You got some.
I don't think so.
You got some
they-
donations of some goggles.
Yeah, someone in the
Which
chat said he'd donate you some goggles.
Oh dang, goggles!
I just need a module,
Yeah.
you guys.
Oh.
No, like seriously, that's what I'm pretty sure why I lost video, because I was having issues all weekend, and when I used other people's goggles, we figured out that that's what it was, because I have a super old module in my Fat Sharks that I can't update. So
Oh.
I was having like weird issues anyway, and when I lost video, there was no reason I should have lost video. The quad was flying great. I had run a couple packs through it already, so it wasn't like a power thing. But I just don't know. So that's gonna be my next purchase, is a new module.
We can, if you add me on Skype, we can have a word with Immersion, see whether they'll.
Yeah, we'll see if Tony can sort it
Yeah,
out.
Tony will sort
Tony,
you out.
get your ass! No, I'm just kidding.
All right, because that's what I need.
I had the pleasure of meeting him.
Actually, there's a lot of controversy with rapid fire at the moment. It's like
I think he's had a new update, though, hasn't it?
it keeps having issues with certain cameras and things like that, doesn't it?
I
Right.
haven't
Yeah,
heard
it
anything about that.
Not
It
according
did,
to Tony.
Joshua did quite a good video on the problems, but there was certain. I think it was a PALA and NTSC thing. There was certain cameras that had problems which caused flashing. I think it was, and I don't think it was the fault of
rolling.
the version. I'm not sure if it's a rolling shutter thing. Maybe it might have been actually.
No, it was the screen
image
would roll.
rolling.
Image rolling.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
To do with is it V-Sync? Is that the right term, or C-Sync?
Used to get
Video
that on-
format's weird.
You used to get that on the black and white TVs. You had like a dial that you turn and
No, tape decks tracking. Kind of that effect,
okay.
but yeah, like I think video, like videos sync on Luma or sync on
Push your eyes into your head and it will help.
C-Sync. C-Sync.
Yeah, it's interesting to see where that ends up, the whole rapid fire thing. I mean, I know lots of people that are very happy with the rapid fire. I've not really spent any large amount of time with one yet. I'm still, to be honest with you, really very happy with my Trudy 3.7. Still performs like a champ, but the areas I fly in, lots of woodland and fields and stuff, I don't sort of really need to go to anything. You know, I'm not racing in a giant metal warehouse, so it's not imperative for rapid fire or clear view. But hey, if they want to send me one for review,
I want to
check one out.
I want still in the box at the moment. I haven't tried it yet.
I need to update mine, NJ, because you were getting way better video. With I think I'm on 3. Did you say you're on 3.7? I'm on 3.6.
I'm on 3.8.
Oh, you're on 3.8. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm on 3. You completely, it just went snow for me, and you were
really?
like, yeah, it's so odd. And we
had the same antennas as well, didn't we? We had the Pico and
apart from the I had the Omway one, yeah. So I need to look at that because that was quite worrying.
Yeah.
Because you got pretty far with that. That was impressive. But there's no point me having like crossfire if mine's gonna cut out like. Because you weren't that. You probably was it 300 meters, and like I lost you. That's just no good.
Yeah. Guys comparing distance and length again.
Yeah.
Sorry, girls.
The only thing I could think of would be if it didn't, for some reason, switch to the patch, and maybe it was a calibration issue. But it's worth updating and recalibrating.
That's a good point. You're supposed to do the RSSI thing, aren't you?
Every update. Yeah, I always do it every update with the antennas off. Just do that calibration. I think when you do the firmware update, it forces you to do the calibration anyway, and it bugs you until you've done it once, and then the firmware sort of operates correctly. So it should force you into doing it anyway. But yeah, worth doing.
I'll do that. I've been too busy battling with Fat Shark at the moment. So
are you still in a fight with them?
Well, they say they've seen my video and they say they don't see a problem. So I'm sending them the raw files now to show the difference, because YouTube has like kind of butchered the interference, you know. But when you look through the goggles, it's pretty obvious that there's a problem. So yeah, that's where I'm at with them at the moment. But they've been off for Christmas, so I'll let them off. But it's been a while since I heard of them.
Blimey. What goggles are...
Sorry, I just wanted to jump in. I wanted to hear from our guests, because we've not had Mako on the show before. So I wanted to know how she got into FPV and what she's
with
been
2 other
flying.
girls?
Yeah.
You can turn everything rude, can't
Hell
you?
of a first time, I'm telling you.
How I got into FPV. Are you waiting for me to say my boyfriend or my husband?
Yeah.
Normally what
No. We started at the same time. Oh. No, I do have a husband and he flies. We started at the same time. He is a mentor though. He can build. But I am a better flyer. Not gonna lie. I think it's in my blood, because my dad was into aviation. He was a mechanic, a crew chief mechanic for the SR-71.
Oh, wow.
Blackbird. Yeah. I feel like it's in my blood a little bit.
Damn straight it is.
That's a pretty fast plane.
Someone light a firework for that.
Yeah. But yeah, we've been flying. I've been flying only mini quads for like 10 months, not even a year. So
I've watched you fly. You're really good, especially because you do a tiny whoop crack stuff, don't you? And
yeah, I co-run a multi-GP chapter, and we're in winter session obviously right now, and there's just snow everywhere right now. So we're tiny whooping a lot, and we race weekly. We've been live streaming it the last few weeks. So if you guys want to hang around and check us out, we're on Twitch though.
Yeah, we've watched you. If you got the Twitch thing, we can put it in the chat.
Yeah, Jack will love that as well because he wants to move us to Twitch.
He is a Twitcher.
Yeah, I've been trying to go back to YouTube, but my husband's like, Twitch is where it's at.
After we bigged up AT&T that much as well, look what it's done to
it. Just left her hanging.
If you go under a tunnel, it's still the same issue. So,
Ryan, what was the name of the Twitch channel that you've been live?
It's my pilot name, Mako Reactra.
Not
tour.
I haven't seen that much multi-GP in the UK. How are you finding it as an organizer and helping out run events in the chapter and stuff?
I really enjoy that part of it. The website is a little iffy, you know. I think they got to work on that a little bit, but it's been a lot of fun. We've been doing mini quad races, whoop races. My husband and I went to IO. It was really funny. I got married this past summer, and everyone was glaring at him, giving him evil looks because we were at IO for part of our honeymoon, and they thought like he dragged me there, but it was me dragging him there almost. So I had to explain to everyone, no, it's okay. I want to be here.
Yeah, good.
And so I know you do both racing and freestyle, but where's your heart at? Do you just start to get out and fly, or do you? Some people are really into the racing, but everybody I know seems to be more into the freestyle than the racing for some reason.
I'm actually more into racing. Yeah, I've kind of picked up freestyle a little bit later. But I love both. I think they're both beneficial because I think with racing, you get the control and the lines down. And with freestyle, you're doing like the more acrobatic moves like corkscrews and different things like that. So,
whereabouts in the world are you?
I'm in Maine. So I'm in the northeast of the United States.
It's cold there.
Hell yeah. I flew once out in the snow, and I'm a new pilot, so flying the snow first time, I did like a barrel roll, and a few times I was okay, but I did another one, and the sky was fully clouded, so it looked just like the snow, and I went down into the snow.
Do you conformal coat your quads, or is flying in the snow a bit of a...
I had not done that yet.
But you will now.
Yes. But there was no damage, so I was really psyched.
That's really lucky. So are you still doing quite a lot of flying, even though the weather's bad now, or is it sort of hampered you a little bit, or is it more indoor stuff?
More indoor, but it's, if I can get out there, I'll get out there. Last week we had a 50-degree day, and that was a gift. So I was out there, but I'll fly in my car a little bit from my car.
I was going to say.
Not in my car.
Secret inventor.
You see, I only really discovered that last year, flying from the car, and I was just always in my head, it was like, it's just going to be so detrimental to the video and the range, but most of the time it's absolutely fine. So I'm going to do that a bit more this year, I think.
I wanted to try putting it on the roof of my car and sending it, but I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, you need to get a Dock King, and because they're magnetic, so it'd stick on the top of your car, and you could do it.
You know what? Despite what you think, you actually get a pretty good signal through the car. We may have
unless you own a Ford, because they have the heated. Like it's like a Faraday shield.
We launched Planed Up, and then we had my mate drove, and I followed in the car. I followed flying in the car, and then he did the same on the way back, and it was fine. A few hundred meters away, may or may not have done that.
I must say, if you haven't checked out Ryan's YouTube channel, check her out because I can't believe it's only been 10 months you've been flying.
I know. I'm a teacher, so I have the summer off. It's amazing. So I flew a lot this summer.
You fly really well for 10 months.
Could you say?
And if you go to my YouTube channel,
make it feel better.
If you go to my YouTube channel, you notice that my students are my #1 fans. Like they comment left and right. It's hilarious.
Oh, that's
I
cute.
saw as well you did you took some quads to like a summer camp.
Yep, I've done school presentations. I've done a presentation at my school. I did summer camps, which was a lot of fun because we did some racing demos and then some freestyle stuff and let the kids fly. And we let them fly the whoops. And some of them have a real natural ability, but some of them, their throttle control is crazy. But they love it.
Have you just got home, Jamie?
Yes.
Yes.
My dogs are very happy that I'm home. Go.
Yeah.
But I got a ton of emails like over winter break saying, like, I got my child a drone, but they can't fly it. Do you recommend something else?
Well, I think the Woovers did really well. We had a show that we went to a few weeks ago now.
Easy.
The little tiny Woovers, like anyone can use them, but it still has kind of a bit of an incentive to learn the throttle control. I think that's like a good way for even little kids to do that.
That was brilliantly hilarious, although it does bring out the competitive nature in you. Oh my God, we just got a £20 donation from Richard Harwood.
He loves Thursday nights, he says. You can do one. Jesus Christ. This is dangerous.
Quick, put it in the dog bowl.
That's going to be my wallpaper for a while.
This is dangerous. It's so warm as well.
How do you guys hold those things? Because once it had finished, it was burning hot. Did you just get burnt? Is that how it works?
Basically.
Yep.
Oh my God! Stop now! Stop.
Lugnut would be that pleased to see you if you didn't chop his balls off, you little ball chopper.
He loves me.
Only because he's afraid you'll do it again.
There is no again.
He doesn't know that.
There is no again.
What's
Silly
the
mutt.
weather like in down in Canada, Kyrstie? Is it all snow on the floor now? Are you flying
You're not in
outdoors
Canada,
still?
you dirty traitor.
Enough.
She moved, does she?
She moved?
Yeah.
Where are you now?
Secretly.
Oh,
It wasn't
sorry.
secret. Everybody knows.
I didn't know.
Yeah. Well, anyways, yeah, so no, I'm not in Canada. Unfortunately, I'm really fucking missing it. Like, having major withdrawals. No butter chicken in America. It's really driving me nuts.
No Tim Hortons, no
No
poutine.
Tim Hortons.
I have
no
Tim
poutine.
Hortons and I'm in America.
Yeah, you do.
But I'm like basically Canada.
Tim Hortons is really good, actually. I stopped at one of those when I was coming back from somewhere, and good coffee and donuts, got to admit. Very nice.
It's the way. It's the way forward.
She moved, though, so that's no good. No snow on the ground.
No snow and no internet. No. I was just kicked right off. My internet is so bad here. We're hoping to move again very soon here. So yeah, and then hopefully in a year or two we'll go to Canada, and then we can show you guys Canada too.
No.
That'd be cool. A little bit more.
You going back?
Well, I want to be able to go to both places whenever I freely want. You know, like go to Canada when I feel like poutine for a month straight and gaining 400 pounds.
You won't though. You need it for that harsh weather condition, or grow full body of fur.
100%. This guy knows what's up in Canada.
Yeah.
That's just in your dreams.
So,
can I put just out to everyone in the chat? It'd be a good opportunity, given the time, to start throwing some questions out. If we have any questions for tonight's guests, and we'll see if we can get them answered.
I'm loving your drift content, by the way.
Your
With
what?
Creatures. I'm loving your drift content.
Oh yeah, what about it? Like, why do you love it?
Drifto. Initial D.
You
He likes going sideways.
Yeah, except when Tony's driving.
Do you like?
He's got
do you like toge?
front wheel drive car.
Do you like toge racing?
No, I don't.
Why
I'm not.
not?
I don't.
Why
I never checked it out. Send me some links.
Check this out. I'm so proud of this one. Can you even see it? You can't even
It
see
looks
it.
like you're showing it on a potato. Like, no offense.
It kind of is.
You know, it's literally missing gravy and cheese curds.
Hey, we got in the chat a question. Biff FPV asks Miss Creature, who's your favourite teammate?
Me.
Who's my favorite teammate? What a hard thing to.
Yeah, that's a mean question.
Damn, Biff.
Obviously, anybody you don't mention means you really do dislike.
Right? I don't dislike anybody, and I love every single person.
Oh my god, that's such a Canadian answer.
No, that's a Miss America answer.
Yeah, no. The only difference is that she'd want world peace. That's I know, I've watched a lot of them. No, I haven't.
I know I haven't.
Clive in the
Biff,
chat
you're
wants
my
to know
favorite.
what everyone's plans are for 2019.
Oh, I have a lot of cool shit going on.
Yeah?
Yeah. I can't talk about some of it yet because I'm worried I will jinx it.
Oh, go
But
on.
there will be quite a bit of traveling for me this year. I intend on going to Australia this fall to go and hang out with Noelle and all of them. I will be going out to California this summer. And then, yeah, I'll have my passport like this week. So that sort of just opens all the doors for me, you guys.
So usually when somebody says there's some stuff I can't say, it usually means they end up becoming a Rotor Riot pilot.
No, this is actually career stuff that like I've been working towards for the last 6 months, and I have my last interview in 2 weeks, and at that point I'll be able to talk to people about if I've gotten this dream job that I really want or not. But like I said, I haven't really talked a lot about it because I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah.
Because it's something that, like I said, I've been working towards for the last 6 months, and it's something I really want. So,
Well, congratulations, and I really hope that it works out for you because that's really awesome.
Man. Well, it's been a crazy long process. This will be my 5th interview, which is normal for this company. It's their normal process. So more than 200,000 people apply for this position every year. And I'm on the last step. So all I have to do is go and walk into a room and be like, hey, I'm bomb and you guys should like see that I'm amazing. And they'll be like, oh, we love you. And then I'll have it. So
that is good interview technique for any job right there. Just walk into the room. Hey, I'm bombing.
Curry Kitten's like, you're hired.
I'm just gonna walk in and smile a lot and be who I am, and they're gonna fall in love with me, and it's gonna be great. And then I'm gonna have this career that I really want, and it's gonna fall into line with all of the rest of my plans. There's a big move in store for me this year, so I'm stoked about that. I will be moving a pretty good distance from where I currently live. So,
are you? There you are.
God, now she sounds like a potato.
What?
Oh, I was gonna say I heard alien noises, but
yeah, man. I was like, are they here? Take me away.
What were you saying, Kerr?
Interesting plans for 2019.
I was saying, are you going to be coming closer to me? And I was like, yeah, you are.
Yeah. I will be closer. Like, regardless of the scenario, because regardless if I do this career thing or not, I will be moving quite a distance away from my current island. So.
Nice.
Wait. Well, fingers crossed on the interviews.
Your island? Are you on like Newfoundland or something?
No. Just the town that I live in. It's a little island off of the coast of North Carolina. It's called Topsail Island, and it's where I grew up. But
no, that was more of a joke for the Kanaki stan.
What? I didn't even hear it.
I said you live on an island. What, like Newfoundland?
She would never go there in her life.
You never know.
I just like to point out I didn't say that.
Makes a change.
Yeah.
Makes a change.
Yeah.
Ryan,
if people would like to donate to our Patreon so that we can send Tony our idiot abroad, please,
I'll
please
take that.
donate. Oh, it'd be hilarious.
I'd make a
That'd
good
be
video.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, send them over here.
yeah. I'm not pooping in that. What do you mean they let gays get married in Canada?
Make them. They make them get married.
Yeah. Why aren't bears vegan? Run away.
Well, they kind of. Oh no, they're not. They eat fish. They do eat berries though.
Well, they'll eat you.
Only if they can't get any hikers.
You're like literally a walking chicken nugget to a bear.
This 2019, I have this sick DRL thing I'm doing right now.
Ooh.
I haven't really told
Ooh.
anyone, but I guess I can finally say, oh, I'm excited about it, and I can blast
Go on.
it. But I'm doing a 4-foot by 3-foot painting for DRL to go hang in their office in New York.
That
Nice.
is- oh,
Yeah.
man.
That's
I'm
better
really
than flying a brick that's got tons of LEDs on.
Yeah.
Jesus, man, have you seen those things? They're like weapons.
I didn't.
They're so heavy too. Oh my god.
Are they?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
When they did that knife thing, you know, when they dive down and like stuck
Yeah.
the knives in the foam, I was like, you don't need the knives. They weigh a ton. I was
Wow.
expecting them to just go
Wow.
through the earth.
That bad. Holy cow.
Aren't they
Yeah,
nearly? Aren't they
like-
like 800 grams or something?
Yeah, take your
Whoa.
heaviest quad and then sit it on top of your other heaviest quad, and that's how
And
much
then-
those racer
And then
threes
gaffer
are.
it to your
I
car.
think
And
I-
then you...
I've got to light another sparkler for Richard Harwood. There you go, Rich.
Yay.
So,
Ow!
I gotta start a Patreon this year too.
I'll donate.
Yeah, me too.
But what?
Don't.
To see
Jack will send you weird things.
I can't. No, she sends me stuff.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, be careful.
Photos.
Thank you, Richard.
Richard sent that to get Ash on, by the way, if you've got enough space for him. Just saying.
1, 2,
what,
3.
we haven't heard from Ryan. What's your plan for 2019? Have you got anything lined up?
Oh, I'm not doing a damn thing. No. Besides flying more, we have a main X-Class chapter now. So
very
we have
well.
about
Excited
3
now.
or 4 multi-GP chapters in Maine. So we've all kind of gotten together and decided we're going to do a bunch of X-Class races. So that's coming this summer. So
Wait,
well, I'm going to build an 8-inch with my husband, and we're going to fly that a little bit before we transition to something bigger.
cool. Try that. Yeah, I might be able to help you out with the X-Class, maybe.
Oh, really? That would be awesome. Definitely. I saw you fly.
Maybe able to help you. Yes, it's good fun. Definitely try it.
I'm going to channel my inner Zoe, I guess.
Yeah, man, she's great. But I've seen you flying. You're really good. What I wanted to ask you, what are you running? Beta, race flight? What are you running?
I run Flight 1. I love Flight 1. I do have a couple beta flight quads, but Flight 1 is where it's at. I run the same stack in like every quad. Like the Revel OSD and the Bolt 32 50 amp.
Yeah,
one.
that is the best stack.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's
I'm
in
with
3
you.
quads.
I'm with you. I love that stack. It is so easy. Plug and play. Boom.
Yeah,
Done.
sim mode. Very nice.
Have you checked out the Legacy?
I have not. Or I might have actually, isn't that the original?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it?
I might have tried that in the beginning, and then I switched to sim mode.
What about
Is it-
Whisper?
No, I don't run Whisper. I'm not sure I can run Whisper on multi-shot. I'm not sure.
I'm just going to light a sparker because I think it's hot when girls say stuff about quad shit.
I've still not tried race 1. And last time I saw Tony with what it was called then, was it race 1 then? You burnt your board,
It
didn't
was
you,
like-
Tony? 'Cause
I
you were
said
Race
fly
disappointed with it.
flight. And now it's Flight 1.
Yes, it was race flight. But when race flight first come out about 2.5 years ago, it was really, really good. And then it went really, really pants. And I think it's come back good again now. I really want to try it, but Jack burnt my board. Didn't you, Jack, when you tried to fix
stuff of fluid,
there?
and that's where it will stay.
Jack hates race flight. Oh, Flight 1. I don't know.
Some people do.
Yep. Kill it with fire. Speaking of which, let's set fire to it. If I'm allowed to do that.
We're like pyromaniacs on this show.
You know, on the subject, I think we touched on it a little bit last week, but on the subject of flight control software and different flight controllers, having, I think, owned and tried them all over the last 7 years or something ridiculous, I've got to say, the latest beta flight, which is still in development, it's still a development build, so there's no release candidate yet, and I think it's been delayed a little bit too, is an absolute paradigm shift. What they have done with the latest beta flight 4, if you've got a quad kicking around and you want to try out the dev build of beta flight 4, I strongly suggest you do. It is just unbelievably good.
My brother just swapped a couple of his quads over to the new beta flight, and he was texting me while I was down in Florida, and he was like, "Sis, oh my god, this is amazing." He was like, "We're gonna switch all of your quads." I was like, we're gonna do one to my
incredible. I put a video out on it recently, and I actually had one of the guys who does the coding for the filters comment on the channel and left a really good explanation about some of the stuff they're doing under the hood. But there's everything from how they've reduced the latency to where they've tweaked the filters. And I mean, the most hilarious thing for me was they virtually eliminated prop wash to the point where I was sort of trying to get it to come out by just flying as badly as possible to see if it still existed. I mean, all my quads are running BL Heli 32 now, and I think that does help quite a long way to have a nice fast ESC. But they have done something pretty awesome. This is now, as for me, and it's a big thing to say this because I've always said that the best flying is KISS.
Oh.
I'm going to say this is now KISS level of control and flight feel. The flight feel is where the magic was in KISS, and for me, it's that good. So if you haven't tried it, you should.
It's important to point out that KISS has been that good for 2 years, and Beta Flight has just got there, should I say?
Yes, but
so how would you
KISS
describe
hardware
it,
breaks?
if you've already got a quad that's flying good, what is the difference? Is it a bit like, because the only thing I felt like, oh, maybe it's like that, is when you go from a regular quad that's flying great and you put crossfire on it and you notice that latency decrease. Is it a little bit like that sort of difference?
The latency is part of the connection for sure. There's definitely something in that, but it's really, there's a direct feel that connect, because at the end of the day, the flight controller is just, you're not directly connected to the quad, which is obvious. It is essentially a fly-by-wire system. You put an input in, the quad translates it and makes the quad do something. And to actually get that quad to feel like the flight controller's not there and you're just so incredibly connected to every maneuver you do, I feel like the only kind of that magical connection was only ever truly achieved by the KISS flight controller. And Beta Flight's always been amazing, but it's never quite lived up to that. In many other ways, Beta Flight is way better than KISS in terms of functionality and all the other stuff. But for me, it's that magical kind of connection between you and the quad, and it just feels like all of a sudden, and this is the other thing I should mention, is the tuning envelope has just gone from this to this. I've put stock PIDs for Beta Flight 4 on a 5-inch quad and a 6-inch quad, and they both flew, with my rates, flew with almost exactly the same feel and tune, and that is a sign of a pretty enormous tuning envelope.
Yeah, the problem is though, NJ, is like I watch all your videos, and I watched the Beta Flight 4 video, and it looked because your flying is so good, they all just look the same to me, you know. So, but I get what you're saying about the whole tuning thing, because if that's less of a you know, if you can just use stock tune every single time, then that surely has to be a good thing.
I think it helps a lot. It will help a lot of people.
For me, because I use stock now, because I'm the most rubbish stroke lazy tuner in the world. It's like, well, it seems to fly. That's good enough.
Yeah, but they used to be.
Just send all my quads for NJ, and then he can obsessively get them perfect and send them back to me. They're all built perfectly as well when they come back.
I'll do that.
There was a time though, especially on lightweight copters, if you put stock PIDs on, you would just hear that D-term oscillation straight away. So I guess maybe it needs to be tried on some. Mind you, No. They're all heavy copters you tried on, weren't they, MJ?
Well, no, this is pretty close to the magic 600 grams.
No,
this
but
one.
I'm talking about the 250 size. You know, it needs to be tried.
Do you know what's interesting? The 6-inch quad I have is actually slightly lighter than the 5-inch.
I meant 250 grams is what I'm talking about.
Oh, the super lights. I've not tried one of these super lights yet.
Yeah.
Like none of the 2.5-inch quads. I'm going to load it on everything and see just how wide that envelope is.
Because that's where tuning starts. Like Betaflight. I can sort of build any freestyle copter that weighs like above 600 grams, you know, all at weight, and use the stock PIDs, and it's pretty good. But when on a race copter, and you've got the lighter ones that, you know, without a battery are, you know, 270 grams, that's when you start to struggle with the tuning. So it'd be interesting to see how Betaflight 4 acts on those types of models.
Absolutely. Ladies, what about you with your tunes? How much are you like me? Do you obsess over tuning, or are you kind of plug it in, it works, let's go have some fun? Like where do you sit with the tuning thing?
I like to fly. So I personally I'm fine with just doing one of the presets or something like that, because I do fly Flight 1. I'm lucky enough that I hang out with some really amazing pilots pretty often that tune my quads for me on a pretty regular basis. So I kind of have that going for me. But if I have to like do anything by myself and I don't have an opportunity to go and see the guys, I'll just run the default stuff until John can look at it or Kevin can look at it, and they'll, you know, make it awesome and do what I want it to do.
That's a nice thing to have. How about you, Mako? What's your take on tuning?
I usually just use one of the ones set in there, like Vanover or Schizo, one of the ones in there.
Okay,
it's already set. Yeah, because Flight 1 already has a bunch in there that you can select from. But I have one right now that came to me from Diatone. And this one needs a little bit of tuning, so I'm getting a little jealous. So I'm going to play around with this. But it has the RunCam Split Mini 2 in it, so it's supposed to take some pretty nice HD footage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Diatone sends you stuff with the expectation that you will fix the tune for them. is what I found. I've got a couple back there that they want the same thing. So, yeah.
Are they still
Albert Kim does a pretty good job.
You need to change the props as well.
What was that?
On Diatone, are the props they send still rubbish as well? Because the last year's lot with literally every single pair of props was like, change these, they're awful. They
usually send the 1.9 inch props, which are very difficult to tune anyways, but they do have reasons for using the 1.9 inch props, and that's because
I think if it's 2, it will hit, right?
The way that it was explained to me is because Diatone only does plug and play; they don't do RTF. If you use a 2-inch prop, the 2-inch prop gets too close to the connector that they provide to plug into an RXSR. But I switch them out to 2-inch. They don't catch; they just get very close. So you have to just resolder the things. I'm trying to be, you know, hip or whatever by saying something.
It's okay. One of them does speak Canadian.
What in Canada they say solder, do they? Or
yeah,
do they
Commonwealth. Got the same queen on their monies. Speak like we do.
They even get proper broadcasts in Canada.
She's muted, so we can't hear what she's saying.
I didn't know that. I thought they said Sada.
What was Kyrstie? What was your view on the tuning thing as well?
On the sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I was saying, how do you obsess over your tuning, or are you a sort of plug and play?
Okay, I don't want to like start an internet brawl or anything, so forgive me if I do. But
how Canadian of you!
I'm sorry. So I believe that tuning your quad is somewhat like driving a car. You can drive a car so hard, only so hard as the car will go. You can overdrive a car because your skill can overdo everything that the car can do. I believe that the same thing happens with FPV, and I like to just tune my PIDs very, very minor, like the smallest amounts. And that's about all I do. And I just go rip and try and self, because I know that the biggest problem is from the pilot itself.
Yep.
Good analogy. You like that?
You should be able to adapt and fly anything.
Yeah,
honestly,
we can all adapt.
You should be able to, in my opinion, you should be able to pick up anybody else's radio and fly their quad and it not be a big deal. And
for the most
I can do
part,
that.
Yes, Tony.
I mean, my favorite Rotor Riot episode, I think, is the one where they switched. I think, Jammie, you were in that one, actually.
Yeah, that was my idea. That was my idea.
That was great. I love that.
Yeah, well,
Cool,
that's because I fly quite a few different quads, and I enjoy flying other people's stuff just because they do fly differently, and it does. You'll see that if you fly, you know, like you saw in the episode, versus like Corey Tapp, Cricket's rates and stuff like that, how he is very fast, and then John Schizo, he has really, really calm rates that make you slow down. Like the way that he flies, a lot of it is obviously his skill because he's amazing, but a lot of it is the way his settings are. Like, it makes you slow down. It makes you do those slower maneuvers as opposed to doing a whole bunch of flippy dippies and going wild, because it's much harder to do with that slower those slower settings and stuff that he uses. Whereas if you were to take like Bardwell's setup where he has all these crazy fast rates, you barely have to move any of the sticks and boom, you're in a flip or a roll. Whereas John's, you really have to, Schizo's, you really have to like bang the sticks on the ends to get that poppy flippiness to come out. It was a lot of fun. That episode was really fun for everybody. Like, it was a lot of fun.
I thought Schizo had crazy rates though. Or did he do that and then change? Because Jack used to copy them, right, Jack?
Well, how long ago was that? Because it's been like the last year or so, I guess, that he has gone from having, he had to like, what, 900 or something per second. And now he's slowed it down quite a bit. And like I said, when you fly it, it's super noticeable. Like, you'll notice that you'll try to go into any of your normal maneuvers, but with his settings, you have to hit the sticks harder to make it do it because of the way that he has them set.
Yeah, I never was able to I asked for his rates. I was never able to copy them because he was in Race for like 1. So and back in those days there was no calculator. But in a sense, I've got quite a lot of expo, but ridiculous on the outer ends. So if I bash my sticks right out to the end, it will spin like a Bosch drill.
Well, I think, to be honest with you, your rates are more important. Certainly now with stock PIDs getting so good and the envelope getting so big, I think now that your rates is probably the most important journey that you should take getting connected to your quad, because that center stick, mid stick, and end point sensitivity that connects you when you're flipping and rolling or whatever you do, that's what's going to bring you out in your flying. So that's always my advice. People is really get find out what your rates are before anything else. I think it's a really big thing.
Well, there you go. There's an idea for the next meetup as well. We'd like to call it
swap everything.
Crash each other's quads, but that's okay.
I don't think it will though.
I'm not sure who I want to give my quad to.
I'll take it.
You can give it to me. I fly mode 1.
Oh, great.
It is quite a good way of learning something different, though, as well, because I noticed when you guys did it, there were a couple of guys that said, I think it was Cricket, had insanely fast rates. And just saying, you're not getting to the end of your stick when you're doing it. So what's the point? You might as well bring that down a bit. And it's only by trying other guys' quads out, you might learn a little bit something about, actually, I might try that. Because we all sort of experiment to a point, and then it's like, these are my rates, and this is what I now put on everything, because then everything flies the same, which is essentially what you want, because everything's done on when you flick a stick, you're not watching the screen, you're doing something on a timed basis, aren't you, to come in and out of certain maneuvers quickly.
All
Well,
my
next
race
time-
quads are different to my freestyle quads, though.
Is it? That's weird. How do you find
Next
that?
time you guys are together, definitely try to pick whoever has the most different from what you did, because that's what we did with the episode. We tried to pick who had the most different settings in
Well, it'd
quad.
just be Andy versus everyone else.
It'd be me because I fly mode 1, but I can fly mode 2 as well. So
You'll have to that day. Your quad's going straight down.
That's going to get a little bit harder, but
you would all kill my copter in the first like 10 seconds, so that wouldn't work.
That wouldn't work.
You know what? That's going to make it. That'd make a great video.
Well-
Trying to fly mode 1. I want to try it now.
What we
Do
should do,
it.
I said we should do it with a
I'd
tiny
have
wheel.
better
because then
luck flying with my mouth.
it wouldn't
That would
matter
be
if we
cool.
did it with a tiny wheel. Then it's safer, isn't it? And probably wouldn't damage it.
That would be awesome.
One thing I thought was interesting is when you all us lot flew together last week. None of you really like swapped and had a go of each other's copters. And when I was in a club around here, that we used to do that a lot. Why is that? Just because you don't want someone else smashing?
I think
your
that's a
copter?
northern thing. You swap.
Yeah.
Why?
Putting keys in bowls and stuff,
No,
mate.
what you do is you get your Tyrannus and you put it in a big bowl in the middle of the.
NJ flew my quad on when we met.
You did.
Yeah,
actually,
yours
right,
flew really nicely. I thought your rates were sort of right down the middle, not too crazy, but nice.
Yeah, tone like smooth on his freestyle.
I was
And
standing perfect for you for a go on the X class though. That didn't happen, sadly.
To be honest,
Man.
Andy RC, NJ's had a go at my quad mini air show a couple of years ago when he had the medal, and then me, Tony, and Andrew / Frank all kind of had a swap in Wales.
God, yeah.
Yeah, so it was Wales, and
Yours
he
was ridiculously fast.
Tony.
I couldn't even fly it. It was that fast. It was just.
Yours
stupid.
felt like a bus. It was like all I needed was the what was it called? What was that merry-go-round? The Magic Roundabout theme.
Yeah, but
That's how I get it flies how I drive.
Binary system.
It's quite common to have lower rates for racing than freestyle, though, right? Because
I have it the other way around.
I have different rates for both.
Yeah,
lower rates for racing.
Really?
But yeah,
Mine's
low rates for
faster.
racing.
Yeah.
Mine's
To
the
me,
opposite.
To me, it makes sense to have low rates for racing because you're putting more inputs in, but the copter's not doing as much. You kind of want straight lines, don't you, when you're racing?
Well, I actually put my yaw up quite a bit, though. That's pretty high.
so
And I put my pitch down. My pitch is lower.
Oh, that makes sense. If you're going faster, you don't want it to be as twitchy. You want a stable for tracking, and then obviously yaw for quick turns, and that makes total sense. For me, I'd have to lower the rate simply to deal with the amount of adrenaline shake I'd be getting. And this is why
I fly a lot at Expo.
I tell you what, Curry Kitten, do you find this that I can't go like the standard settings for yaw? Because I've flown a tricopter, I've got to have my yaw ridiculous, like really high.
Nothing is quite the same. I do find yaw is pretty. It's although people have said like quads have come on and now they're much more yaw responsive. They're nothing like a tri used to be.
Yeah,
you could zip that round ridiculously, and because it was 900 mils wide, it was like a proper spinning blade of death out there.
Yeah.
Can I suggest something? If you really enjoyed that, there's a little one of the tabs in the PID tuning on Bait Flight. Well, it's been there since 3.5, but 4 onwards certainly. Take the forward feed and jack it up 100 points, and tell me what you think.
I still don't know what forward feed is. I was going to ask you about it.
I saw that.
So it's very similar to what they did with the throttle. It's kind of a predictive acceleration. So when it senses a fast movement, it will essentially it's trying to guess where you're going to be and accelerate the response on it. So if you actually do fast your inputs and you work with a high forward feed, you can end up with something that isn't actually that dissimilar to tripod. It really is mega responsive now. In fact, I know some people who are running actually quite low PIDs on yaw, and then very high forward feed, and really enjoying it. So you should experiment with that.
Richard Harwood in the chat has retracted his.
He said something and it's changed his mind.
Said something and it's gone, so I'm not going to.
He also says Northerners are more friendly and actually talk to strangers in shops. Yeah, Frank twitches when I try and talk to strangers in London. He's like, look, the only reason people want to talk to you in London is if they've got a cake made of dog poo and knives. That's my...
You actually do break the mold there, though, Jack, because you are from down south, and you will.
There's no law against talking to people.
You'll
unless
talk
it's
to a
harassment,
Which
me and Kyrstie know fully about.
Let's not bring this up again, okay?
Oh, I just love you.
I'm joking.
Oh.
Jack, you've not made it obvious or anything.
No, I know. It's subtle, like a brick, or those DRL drones.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. So can you explain to me what you're on about, please?
No.
So I think
It must be that bad.
it's on that note that we should wrap up.
Has it been an hour already?
Yeah,
It has
because
been
Frank said so.
over an hour.
It's
Over
going
an hour.
too quick.
Yep.
Let's do some more questions for the girls. Just quick.
No.
Does it matter that it's gone over an hour? Why does it matter?
Editing reason.
Jack just doesn't want to edit anymore. We give you another pound.
Bonus podcast, anyone?
Now I can go a little longer, but I do race tonight.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, you're
Alright,
racing
cool.
tonight.
No.
Yes, tiny whoops.
All right, guys.
Oh, sweet.
You might catch us somewhere, maybe on Twitch. Who knows?
Yeah, I
Twitch.
gotta edit some videos and stuff too.
Before we go, can I just ask the tiny whoops that you're racing? Are they brushed or brushless?
Okay, well, we're open class, so I'm flying a lot of alien whoops right now. This is a 0, but I have an F4 too. And I'm going against like all these brushless quads. Like they're all brushless. And I'm doing pretty well. I got second last week, and the week before I took first and finally beat the dreaded death machine.
I saw that. Congratulations.
In high school,
that was awesome.
Those young ones.
10
That
minutes,
actually-
honestly. You
that
fly really
actually-
well.
That doesn't
But-
surprise me because these brushless whoops, the batteries sag like crazy compared to the brushed ones. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
But then don't you get brushed motor fade as well, though?
Well, it
They
depends.
do run out.
I do have a brushless, and I have raced it, but it's out of commission right now. So
I like that term.
All right, right. Let's call it there before Frank kills me.
Jack wants
Thank
to be out of commission, doesn't he?
Yeah. No worries.
well,
All
if you're
right.
still around, you want to check out our racing, we'll be on Twitch.
Cool. Yep, I will post the link in the description as well. Thank you, guys. You've been listening to Let's Go Now. You've been joined by Andrew/Frank,
Goodbye.
Andy RC,
Good night, everyone.
Hey Up Sausage, LittleStellarFox and her doggo.
Good night, guys. This is Raya.
This was nuts.
Aw. Miss Creatures.
You guys must watch, okay? God.
Good talking there, eh? Yeah?
Ignoring you because you keep pluralizing her name.
Sorry. Yeah. he does.
And telling her that you love her.
Yeah. Oh, is it Creature?
Yeah. Sending me socks and stuff.
No, I want your
Creature.
socks.
Oh,
Don't give him your stuff.
Whoa.
Under any circumstance.
Time to
I better make a fortune.
keep on topic, Jack.
Sorry. Miss is it Mako Reactor?
You'll get it right.
Reactra.
Reactra. Yeah, that's it.
You're putting emphasis on the wrong
Yeah.
syllable.
You got to
Right.
pronounce it just like that.
All
Yeah.
together, everyone.
Try again, Jack.
Mako
Reactra.
Reactra. Sorry.
Let's try.
It's been fun. Thank you for having me.
Sorry.
Thanks
I'm
for coming on.
stuck
It was nice
in
to meet you all.
the old school Final Fantasy way.
Yes.
I can't help it. And NJ Tech.
Bye, everyone. See you next week.
Bye.
My little Tony.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Curry Kitten.
Goodbye and good night.
Nothing bright until I fly. Thanks, guys.
And don't
Bye,
forget, next
guys.
week we've got the British Model Flying Association coming on. So send us your questions.
Oh,
so that we
awesome.
can, find some actually good ones.
Yay.
Thanks,
We're so going to
ladies.
get in trouble.
No problem.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having us.
Thank you for
Bye.
coming on.
Bye.